Shalom, my name is Yeshua Yaakov Ben Avraham. This is the first video that's been made from election. So first, congratulations to President-elect Barack Obama and Vice President-elect Joe Biden. I voted for McCain. Well, the story is this. I have to explain myself. I made almost 300 videos, over several hundred of which were for Barack Obama and his campaign, all through the primaries. On election day, and when I prayed, I received the one who has the most merit, who will not win, is John McCain. But he has the most merit. And so I voted for John McCain and Sarah Palin. That said, I also received, when I prayed, that Barack Obama will grow in the future, and in the long term, he will be the greater leader of the two, and that's why heaven raised him up. Even though on election day, John McCain had more merit, in the longer term, Barack Obama will have. So, okay, that's the story. Now, having said that, let's move on. Where are we today? There was, we know that the Japan and United States, the American stock markets are teetering like the Twin Towers. It looks like Japan will go collapse first, just as the South Tower did, and the North Tower will go second. That's the American capital markets, while they're going through all manner of gyrations and choreographing and stalling and bluffing. They're really trying to buy time. Okay. Subsequently, Bush, in his last throes, he made a desperate effort to bring the G20 into some framework to address the global crisis. Let's put some things in perspective. First, the U.S. capital markets, if you take the total market cap of all of the American capital markets, we're talking 15 or 16 trillion dollars. Okay, so half of that has disappeared. That's a circus. What we're really talking about is there's 600 trillion in derivatives, and about 60 trillion of that is in CDSs, credit default swaps. The rest are private derivative contracts, PDCs. That's where all the action is, and the banking system has that globally. So the stock market, we're seeing everybody, it's a bloodbath. We're seeing everybody's taking a beating. Well, it's not over yet. If it plays out true to the historical form, we're going to see 90% disappear of the market caps in total. I mean, when Warren Buffett, the bird in the mine collapses, they drill a hole and they put the parakeet or the bird in the mine, and Warren heard him saying, Warren, there's gold in here. Excuse me for the joke. And so Warren rushed and invested $5 billion in Goldman Sachs. If he'd waited a week, he could have gotten it for a 60% discount. And another $3 billion in GE, waited a week, got a 52% discount. And this is the only time he admits that he didn't check with Charlie Munger. Maybe you should have checked with Charlie Munger. And here comes Waleed with his 4% of Citicorp, announcing he's another dyed in the wool. I'm going to increase from 4% to 5%. And the same day, Citi falls after falling from 42, 43 bucks a share to $3 or $4 a share. They're below the threshold for investment from mutual funds, which is $5 a share stocks. The mutuals can't buy them. Okay, so we're seeing everybody's taking a bath. Okay, so what's the solution? The bottom line is that the new economic paradigm is the solution, but the context of that is the collapse of the local reality globally, which brings the transformation of behavioral man to cognitive man, which ends the exile of man and mankind, which defines the need for Humanomics. I'm the author of Humanomics Trilogy. It has two paradigms: the new cognitive behavioral science first principle, which is receive it to give, and and that's its central organizing principle, in particular of the Jewish people and of all mankind, I might add. And secondly, the new economic paradigm, the integration of labor, which replaces historically the division of labor. Okay, so the capital markets are a circus, they're a sideshow, and we shouldn't be terribly distracted by them. The bailout, 700 billion, fast became $1 trillion. Well, we're really actually right about 2 trillion, and we're getting nowhere, folks. That's failed. The next, we're talking about massive demand stimulus to create 2.5 million jobs by 2011. Barack Obama. Look, I got to say it flat out. The Barack is a well-intended, a very capable guy, but his demand stimulus is no better than George Bush's or anybody else's. It's not enough, and it's going to fail also. Why? Because it doesn't address the underlying authentic problem, which is the absence of the least cost method of organizing production distribution to scale of new knowledge, information, and service with the integration of labor. Okay, so you're fixing the old system. It's an empty bucket with holes in the bottom. Okay, so we're taking actions. We're going to brand Humanomics in general and the new paradigm in particular. To do that, we're in the process of completing the filing for the IRS to secure a nonprofit 501(c)(3) status, to solicit and receive funds for the development of a website and portal to brand globally the new economic paradigm in the context of macrotech in its Humanomics New East-West convergence model. Okay. In addition to the nonprofit, there will be a second separate, which is Macrotech. The company will be for-profit, will have the exclusive global rights to develop commercially the intellectual property of the new economic paradigm, and it will petition the Treasury in Washington for a government services enterprise status to float bonds and debt instruments that are backed by the government to develop a world-class global technological infrastructure, which we will in parallel ask the Barack Obama administration to seek and secure, he and Biden to seek and secure a mandate from the Congress to build and develop a world-class global technology, which would authorize the government services enterprise. So okay, so we'll end up with a GSE, and we'll end up with the Elohim Trust. Okay, so I'm Yeshua Yaakov. I am the author of the trilogy Humanomics and its two paradigms. This pretty much sums up where we are and what we're doing. The G20 has to have very clearly an answer to their search for a solution, and this is it. So I thank you for listening, and stay tuned because there's much more to come. And let's not expect too much. I'll summarize with this. When the anger of heaven waxes hot, the king is sent in first. Okay, the meaning of that little metaphor is George Bush, and then the people are sent in to judgment. That's the American people. Okay, so heaven's anger has waxed hot. The king has gone in for judgment. That was Bush. He's out with the lowest popularity of any president of American history and president of America in the history of America. And lastly, the meaning of what's going on globally is very simple. The sated are sold to feed the hungry. We bless the God of the cosmos and the God of Israel for this tremendous blessing, and let us now turn it to a blessing for America, for Americans, and for all mankind. Thank you for listening. I'm Yeshua Yaakov, formerly American citizen, Michael O'Donnell, a didactic science, the author of the trilogy, Humanomics and its two paradigms. Thank you for listening.